Hi, 7th grade. Welcome back. Today is Thursday. I'm actually making this video on Wednesday, so the data is incomplete like usual. We are going to go over the exit ticket. Please always understand the issues in the exit ticket, the mistakes you made or the misunderstanding you had, because I do go over them every single day, because I do need you guys to understand the mistakes, right? This is how we grow, and this is how we learn. Again, the data is incomplete. Okay, which of the following is correct about indulgences? So, indulgence, according to the Catholic Church, if this works, people could buy them for a relative or a friend or someone that was already dead. So that's true. Okay, to free their soul. The next one is they were approved by the Pope. The Pope said, "Go for it." The next one is they helped pay for St. Peter's Basilica, an incredibly expensive building to make, probably millions and millions of dollars in modern day money. And the church said that purchasing was an act of good action. That's how they got around saying, well, technically, you are doing something good because you're helping us build a church for St. Peter's. So all those three answers need to be checked. From the informational reading, so you had a reading, and I know some of you didn't do it, and that's a concern, right? You need to continue doing those readings. From the informational reading, what was the Reformation? The Reformation was when Protestant churches and ideas formed, breaking away from the Catholic Church. The students that said when the Roman Empire split, that was not in the reading, and this is my concern, where students are not doing the reading. It has nothing to do with the split of the Roman Empire, and has nothing to do with when more people began to read. Yes, more people began to read during this time, but the Reformation itself has to do with the split of the Catholic Church. Tetzel was not a pope. Tetzel was not a pope. Some students said Tetzel was a pope here. Tetzel was not a pope. Um, Tetzel was not a monk who disagreed with the self-indulgences. He was a monk. He was a friar, sorry, that sold indulgences. If you watch that, that video of the guy burning his hand, that was kind of like him. Someone that convinced people to buy indulgences because they would help him get into heaven. In the Catholic Church, purgatory was a location where the soul would be spent eternity. The answer is false, right? Purgatory was temporary. Now, you might spend a day there, according to the church. You might spend a year. You might spend 10,000 years. You might spend a million years. But the point was that as soon as your sins were burnt off, or some bought an indulgence for you, you will be released to heaven. Hell is the opposite. Hell is forever. Which of the following is something that the clergy promise to do? They promise to live good lives and serve God, and they promise not to have sex, to abstain from sexual intercourse. Um, what is the name of this person? This person is Pope Leo X. He came directly from the video. Pope Leo X. He was around when Martin Luther, decided to push back against the church. He was one of the Medici family members. He was not Tetzel. Tetzel was that person that sold the indulgences. This is not Saint Peter. Saint Peter. This is not Luther. This is Leo X. Moving on. The person who portrays Martin Luther. This was like a tricky question, right? The person who portrays Martin Luther in the movie Luther, it was also the same person that did Lord Voldemort in the Harry Potter movies. Someone said T'Challa. No, no. Seven people picked Lotso the bear from Toy Story. No, that guy was not Lotso the bear. Someone said Thanos. These are all like this one is not even a real person. And this is not a real person. Those are voices maybe. Maybe you thought the voice, but that wouldn't make sense. When you protest, you are speaking out against something. Um, to reform means to change to make better. Which of the following is an image of an indulgence? Now, let me see which one you guys picked. Which of them is an indulgence? So, three people picked option three. Most of you guys got it right, so good job. So let's look at this question again. Image three, and then no, this is purgatory. This refers to purgatory or hell. An indulgence is a document. It's a letter written by the church and signed by the Pope that says that you will be free from sin as soon as you get to purgatory, or some sin. And then the last one. So why were people willing to open? Why was they so willingly open to buy an indulgence? They were so willingly open to buy an indulgence because they thought they worked. They thought that God would or that the church had the power to free them from purgatory. They really, really believe this, right? And some people still believe this. And I'm not here to judge, right? I grew up believing in this, um, so I understand these ideas. When you have deep faith, deep convictions, uh, you will believe this, right? And that's what they did. And from the reading, you could have said Martin Luther was a monk. You could have said he spoke out against the church. Before he did that, he was a Catholic that followed the rules. He was afraid of going to hell. You could have said that he eventually realized that only faith can save you, that indulgences don't work. You could have said he wrote the 95 Theses. There's a lot that you could have said here instead of just saying he was a monk. Okay. Okay, today's video is going to be short because you will have quite a bit of work on your own. So you will be working on this document, and here I've given you a term. Here you need to provide relevant information, and here is an image. So I'm gonna do the first one for you guys. The Catholic Church is means universal. It was the, and you find the answers to these. You're able to find them in the videos that you watched already. I don't know if you're able to rewatch them. You should be able to rewatch them. I'm not sure. You can look up questions on terms online. You are also able to use the resources. I've given you documents in Google Classroom. It means universal, and you can also look at your exit tickets. I think I'm not sure if you're able to reopen them. It means universal. It was the only Christian religion in Western Europe during the Middle Ages and Renaissance. Led by the Pope. Led by the Pope. Believe Catholic Church teaches. Sorry, teaches of the 7 sacraments. It also teaches of indulgences and purgatory. Okay. Other things you could say here is I'm thinking. There's more that you can focus, right? If this is like the most basic information you should have for Catholic Church, you're more than welcome to add, and that'll be great. I will be showing some exemplars. So for the image, you can just say Catholic Church. Or Catholic religion, actually, because if you type in Catholic Church, it's gonna actually give you like a picture of a church. Instead, you type Catholic religion, and you can pick any of these images, right? Here I forgot follow the teachings of the Bible, Old and New Testament. Okay. For Pope, you should definitely have the word infallible. I think they spell infallible. It is. So infallible. That's a really, really good word to have for the Catholic Church. Now, is infallible the only word you're gonna have? Absolutely not. So for the Catholic Church, you could have picked any of these images. Any of these images are fine. For example, this one you can pick. You can pick. There's another. You can pick the image of Jesus because Jesus is considered the Son of God in Catholicism. You can even pick this one, the cross. The problem with this one is that, well, besides the fact that it's the topic, but it needs to be just about Catholic because you will see that eventually there's other Christian religions that pop up. So Catholicism is not the only Christian religion in Europe, right? After the Reformation, there's many, many Christian religions. So here's a trick for you. All Catholics are Christian, but not all Christians are Catholic. So think about that, okay? Up until the Reformation, all Christians in Europe were Catholic, and all Catholics are Christian. Okay. Um, so that's all I have. So you have this. You have the image to put. I'll put the image. I'll just pick one of these images. It's fine. Post it there. Then I'm gonna post this one here. Okay, so that's my image. If you want to change it, you're more than welcome to. It's fine. So you see how this became bigger. So now I have to like move that down. So Pope, I give you the word infallible. So infallible is something that you should focus on. It should not be the only thing. But Pope, for example, you could talk about the Pope is elected by cardinals. When the Pope dies, the cardinals go into the Sistine Chapel and they vote on who's going to be the new Pope. Here's a picture of a Pope. What's the tithes? What are they? Picture. What are the sacraments of the Catholic Church? Here, you can't just tell me what they are. You have to identify what they are. Like, what is confirmation, right? You have to look up these. Your work is due by 3, by the way, for all classes. And then the picture for chastity, priest of nuns. I don't want you guys to like worry about a picture. Just focus on what was the requirement and what were some of them doing, right? Simony. What's the issue with simony? Simony in the church. Wealth of the church. How rich was it? How did they use their money? Illiteracy of the priests. What does that show? Why is that an issue? What is purgatory? Image. What are indulgences? This is going to be a big one. So focus a lot on this one. We spent the whole day on Wednesday focus on indulgences. Picture. Excommunication from the church. What does it mean to be excommunicated? What happens to people that are excommunicated according to the church? Don't just tell me, oh, being kicked out of the church. What are the effects of that? And then you have political power of the church, like what kind of power did the church have? And then you have 7 questions here. Okay, this is due tomorrow. I will give you guys class time during my live classes to work on it, and I will also be pulling some student work so we can go over it together. Okay, that's all I have for this video. Please watch the video, work on the study guide. If your study guide is not submitted, even if it's done, if it's not submitted, you won't get the quiz on Friday. Several students had that issue where they finished their work but they didn't submit it, and I didn't give them the quiz, and they had to like remind me, you have to submit your work. Please do not submit work that is incomplete. Okay, I will send it back to you, and you definitely not get the quiz. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.